Hi comfort lovers, long time no see. I had quite the issue with my scalp for a little bit and had crazy looking hair because I couldn't do anything to make my hair look a little bit more nice, and I just didn't feel cute and therefore didn't film. But now I feel better, so I'm back. Even as the world seems to be on fire, but we don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about how to be cozy in this economy, because it just feels like everything continues to get more and more expensive. First on my list is going to antique/vintage shows or even just stores. Depending on what you're interested in, they actually might not cost that much. And at the very least, you're getting to go and be surrounded by a bunch of stuff that you are interested in and to just kind of soak up the vibes and enjoy it and be near like-minded people who also enjoy the same thing as you do. And some of these shows you don't need to pay to get in. It will depend and vary from show to show. But just for instance, this little guy, he's kind of like a cherry depression glass. I think he was $35 because not a lot of people are super into this vibe right now, but I love it. So I like to just find stuff like that not a lot of people are interested in, that kind of cozyify your house and you really love, but other people don't value as much, so it'll be cheaper. Because I mean, one person's trash is another person's proverbial treasure, right? This one is more so for my American viewers, and that is if there are any cozy favorites that are consumables that you have to repurchase. I know with the tariff situation, it's kind of crazy right now. Maybe for right now, see if you can get a domestic equivalent or just learn to do that thing at home, depending on what the price point is and where you're getting it from, instead of purchasing it over and over again when the price of it is so inflated. This is probably a no-brainer, but I still feel like it needs to be said. You don't need the newest cozy game to feel cozy. You can do just fine playing cozy games that you already own. The Switch 2 just came out, but the price is astronomical. In this economy, nobody can buy it, right? So better to just stick with old favorites. You can spice it up. I know a lot of streamers seem to be doing like challenges within games, so maybe see if you can do some of those challenges. It might reinvigorate and breathe new life into how you engage with an old favorite in an old game. Kind of like for Pokemon, for example, I think there's lots of challenges where like you have to catch the first Pokemon you run into, and you can't catch any more Pokemon in that area of the map. And then also if that Pokemon faints, that Pokemon's gone forever. You can't revive it ever again. So that can be a really interesting way of just revitalizing and giving an extra challenge to playing a game that you know and love. And to piggyback off of that point, actually, because it's free to join. If you're a lurker, kind of like me, and you enjoy watching other people play, maybe a cheaper alternative to satiate that desire to have the newest, latest game is to actually just watch some streamers play that game instead, or watching some VODs on YouTube, and just kind of get that out of your system, because you're still engaging with that game, but you don't then need to buy the game to enjoy it. This is kind of similar to not needing the latest, greatest thing for gaming, but for crafts. Is if you're like me, you kind of like to hoard crafts and you hoard materials and then you never really get through all of them. Let this be a challenge, and I'm gonna try and engage with this challenge too. And it'd be, what is it called? 72 hard? Is that the name of the challenge? Let me just double check really quick. No, it's 75 hard, my apologies. But There was one for food and there was another one for clothing, where it's kind of you have to spend the next 75 days documenting your outfits and you're not allowed to buy new outfits. We can't really do the same thing because not all crafts can be done in a day, and that would be a lot. But how about for our 75 hard challenge, it would be, instead of going out and buying new materials for a new craft, see if you already have those materials at home, or if you don't have the materials in the medium that you want to do, but you have plenty, a surplus of materials for a different hobby that has kind of been sitting there for a while, maybe just like translate that hobby into that instead. So maybe you don't have enough thread for cross stitch, so you can't make a cross stitch of a Stardew Valley picture that you've seen, but you still want to make that thing and you have lots of yarn. Maybe try and make a blown up version of that and see if you can make a small little crocheted blanket of that. Let's see if we can do it instead of just like buying new materials each time we feel the urge to do a specific craft. This one I've really been slacking on, and I really wanted to get into it, just life has gotten in the way. But I feel like junk journaling is a great cheap hobby that you can still engage with even when things are kind of difficult, because you are still going to go about your day and you're going to have little memories attached to physical items that you might get with that. So let's say you had a really good coffee and like you stamped the last stamp in your coffee card and you got a free one and you really enjoyed it. You could put that in your junk journal and maybe put a note about the day if it was extra memorable or something going on. Or if like for your birthday, your friends got you some gift and there's like a really cute note or something attached to that, you can put that in your junk journal too. Even though the economy is bad and things are kind of tough right now, it's not really going to stop us from living our lives and finding small joys in things, and trying to romanticize them a little bit more, I feel like makes the fact that you can't do things as much as you may like to a little bit easier. This is more just a general rule for if you are going to buy anything. Most people know this, but it's nice to hear it again, you know, so that you're not going crazy. I need to go get that, otherwise it's gonna beep every 5 minutes. I'll be back. Don't bark. Don't bark. Leave the neighbors alone. You gonna leave them alone? There we go. Okay, where was I? Yes, this is something that's kind of nice to hear from other people, even if you've heard it 1,000 times. But if you are going to need to buy something during this time, maybe focus a little bit more on quality over quantity. You don't need to have 6 different versions of the same sweat pant. Maybe just instead of buying the one on Amazon that's $30 and it's only gonna last for like 10 washes and you buy it in 6 colors, maybe choose a brand that you know has a reputation for longevity and you see a colorway that you really like. Even if it's a bit more expensive, you know it's gonna last longer as long as you treat it right. If there are any self-care or treating yourself moments, see if you can learn to do that thing at home. It will most likely be cheaper. I love getting my nails done, but I really do stretch it out. I don't get it done every 4 weeks. I let them grow out as long as possible. And actually, this is a trick because I don't know how well you guys can see it, but I never get the base done in color. I always try to match it to the natural color of my nail bed, because then it can grow out and it looks nicer longer. Because if I get a, like, let's say, set of just red nails done, I'm gonna see that gap because it's already grown out so much, but from far away you can't tell. That would drive me insane and I feel the need to get it done again. So that's something you can try if you don't know how to do nails yourself. I had one friend at the place I used to work at before where she was able to do acrylic nails herself and she saved a lot of money that way. I'm incapable of doing it, but that doesn't mean that you can't do it. So definitely see if there are any treats that you get somebody else and pay them to do that for you. See if you can do it for yourself because it will usually be cheaper. Free cozy shit is good cozy shit. I don't know what else to say. So like those moments of getting to walk in the park, cuddling in a blanket you already have, playing a game that you love and already own, reading a book that you have known and love and enjoy, and it's just a comfort read to you, or even going, you know, those little like neighborhood library things. If there's a book that you no longer care for or have gotten everything that you need out of that book, you can always trade a book. Actually, on that note, I'm getting up a lot this time. I found this in my neighborhood library, and so I picked it up and I'm going to need to exchange it. I need to go bring another book. I just have to choose which one I want to drop off, but I will, because I loved the movie Secret of Nim, and this is the book for it. I didn't know that a book for that movie existed, and I'm very excited to read it and then compare the difference. So just things like that, that's free. Try to find cheaper ways to engage with your hobbies. This kind of ties into the last point where I talked about seeing if you have the materials at home already to do that project instead of just rushing out to buy new materials. Let's say you want to have a new outfit. Instead of going out and buying the fabric and making a whole new garment, if you know how to do that, how about seeing if there are some clothes in your closet that you would upcycle instead and give it new life? Even if it's not the exact same clothing item that you originally wanted to make, maybe you'll end up making something better. If there are any garage sales, there might be people looking to get rid of a lot of their craft supplies for cheap. It's always a great opportunity for us crafters to just kind of go and see if they have anything that you could see yourself using in your crafts, or if you're trying to make new clothes, upcycling them. Thrift stores, I feel like art supplies and stuff are still things that aren't really purchased very often, so they seem to still be relatively cheap. Try and finding ways to cheaply engage with your hobbies and not spend so much money on them. Getting into the mentality of trying to engage with hobbies that are a bit more buy once, cry once, instead of constantly buying new things. So let's say you have this itch and desire that you want to try pottery. Instead of going ham and buying all of the materials and stuff to do it at home, where you could do it a lot. Maybe go to a class with a couple friends, see if that's something you actually want to do, because it'll be a new hobby, right? And then you've purchased that one-time workshop or however many times workshops, and you get a product at the end. And if that scratches your itch and you never feel compelled to do it again, then you know, I had this wonderful experience. I don't have to have all of the materials to do it. Or even if you want to do it every now and then, but it's not enough to actually purchase all the materials at home, craft nights can be a really good way to more economically engage with it, because while they may be upfront more expensive, you're going to waste less money because you won't have bought, like, let's say a whole bunch of yarn because you wanted to try rug tufting, and you wouldn't have bought the gun to run tuft, and then finding out that, like, oh, I don't actually enjoy this enough to have all of the stuff in my house. But instead you can go to a workshop where maybe they charge you 50 to 80 bucks to make a rug, and then you're satisfied. This one is also really cheap. It's not going to work for everyone, but I feel like it really works for me. Turning all of those errands that you need to do anyway into gamified versions of themselves. So instead of, I'm just gonna be here and do my laundry, maybe just like turn it into a game. See how many items of laundry I can fold before this song ends and stuff like that. Or instead of, I need to go and walk on the treadmill because I need to exercise, maybe go walking in the park. Or if you enjoy like playing video games with each other and you're lucky enough, like I am, to have an in-house treadmill, You can set it up in front of the computer and you can play games while you're also exercising at the same time. Simple things like that that can make the chores that you need to do anyway more enjoyable. But these are just a few things I thought might be a great way to still be cozy while the economy is a little rough right now. If you have any ideas for how to keep things cozy and keep the joy in life alive, place them down in the comments below. We'd love to have a conversation about that. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. Leave a like if you enjoyed it or got anything great out of it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!